How do you like your tea? Black, with milk, or maybe with lemon, sugar, spices, or maybe you don't drink tea? Why I'm asking all these questions? Because in some countries, culture of tea drinking is a very important part of everyday life. If you are not aware of it, it can cause a serious cultural shock. My name is Aleksandra Jaskulska, and I will talk today about understanding and managing cultural shock. First, let me tell you briefly about areas of cultural shock. I mean, what in our life is or can be influenced by cultural shock. So definitely emotions, thinking styles, and last but not least, social skills and social identity. I would like to focus a bit more on thinking styles and social skills and social identity. Living in familiar, well-structured and predictable environment makes understanding easy. The meaning of expressions, gestures, and cultural norms, that's all clear. But moving to another country or remote part of your own country changes everything. You cannot take things for granted anymore. All of a sudden, it takes an effort to understand what is going on. Most importantly, you must learn new things and develop and expand your thinking. What about social skills and social identity? Secure sense of self is disturbed by working in an alien environment. The familiar context in which your own behavior makes sense is not there anymore. Behavior which was rewarded and valued at home may be negatively evaluated in new culture. The unfamiliar influences can bring a risk to our self-identity. Why? Because you are not as sure as before as to who you are, and you feel insecure. You learn that there are different ways of living, working, and establishing relations. And this threatens your well-formed notion on how to do things. Now I would like to focus on something very important: stages of cross-cultural adjustment. Most of you will go through all the stages, but of course it's not a must. It depends. But let me tell you briefly, what are the stages? At the very beginning, there is initial euphoria. After some time, you may witness disenchantment. After this stage, it's time for initial adjustment. Next stage, adaptation, and you're becoming bicultural, which is an ongoing process. Remember that going abroad, it's always connected with the feeling which you're gonna feel when you know that it's time to be back home again. So in the stages of cross-cultural adjustment, pre-departure leaving taking is also important stage. And then when you are back to your home, again you feel initial euphoria. And the circle is going on and on. Please remember that while you are witnessing cultural shock, you can deal with it. You can manage it. What you should do, what you can do, definitely change of approach. You should also engage yourself in self-development. How to deal with emotions, understanding others, but also yourself. Cross-cultural awareness matters. You also should not ignore the symptoms of cultural shock. Make compromises and think positively about yourself and others. Thanks to this, you will manage to change And what there will be the changes related to your social skills? Definitely greater confidence, better listening ability, more tolerance and patience, greater sensitivity to other cultures, better understanding of people, more assertiveness and independence, but also greater diplomacy and a higher degree of flexibility. So while you are going abroad or you are already there, please remember, know yourself, listen and observe. Find out, ask questions. Do not be afraid to ask questions. Try to be objective. I know it's difficult. Be flexible. Learn the new language, learn the new culture, history. Smile and humor definitely helps. And get involved in local activities. So let me ask you one more time. How do you like your tea? Think about it. Learn about the culture of the country you are going to. It will definitely to help and understand the cultural shock you're gonna witness.